In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to stop coming across the line. This should stop some hooks, some pushes, and potentially maybe some shanks. So, let's dive into it. So what does it mean to be across the line at the top? Well, if we're looking at the top of the golf swing, if the club is pointing towards the target, that would be on line. If the club is pointing to the left of the target for a right-handed golfer, somewhere down here, that would be what we call laid off. If the club is pointing over here to the right side of the target, that would be what we call across the line. The club has gone across the target line and therefore is what we call across the line. What can that cause? Well, we have to reroute the shaft somehow, right? So if we get the club here to the top and it's across the line, we've got to reroute that shaft. Now, normally that means that the hands will work outwards and the club will work inwards or downwards. And as that happens, you can see by the time I get back to the ball, the club is working very much from in to out. So that will cause some pushes, potentially some hooks, depending on timing. The other thing you have to think of is across the line, if I've got to reroute that shaft and my hands come outwards, I've moved the club head potentially outside the golf ball. Now, if I'm moving that club outside the golf ball, there's a very good chance I'm going to hit the hosel and hit some shanks from there. The other thing we then have to look at is how would the body move to get the club back to the ball. Something that it will do is if the club is across the line here, something it will do, it'll have to shift quite forward with the lower body and quite back with the upper body. Now, if I'm going to do that, again, I've probably created some low point issues. So there's lots of different shots that can come from this across the line feeling. One of the most common things that we see with an across the line move is some very big body rotation, so maybe some over rotation, but we also see the trowel arm flare. So if the trowel arm is flaring, you're going to end up in the position where the club then gets across the line and you're going to have to reroute from there. So one of the drills that I like to do when someone is getting across the line with those shot shapes is just a one-handed drill. So we do it with our lead hand only, so for right-handed golfer that's your left hand, and obviously because the weight of the club is in the head, as you start to turn back, that club head then falls and you can see then I get it in quite a laid off position, right? So if I'm making that rotation to the top of the swing, the club head has fallen behind me, then I put my other hand on, you can see that that's the feel I'm looking for to the top of the swing. You can see my right elbow is tucked in probably just on my heel line, somewhere there. You can see that that club has got a lot more laid off within that top position. The way that we build that up, and it's a pretty tough drill to do, because you might lose strike on one or two to start off with, but as soon as you build the repetitions in, you'll start to see the golf swing gets in a better position. So essentially I take setup, I use my lead hand to work the club to the top, I put my right hand on, and then I'm going to fire down nice and smooth to start off with, even if it goes 30 yards, whatever it be. So to the top, gets it laid off, hand goes on, and then we hit the ball. And you'll see down the line there that I've got the club laid off, and what it's done to the club puff is instantly, I mean, you look at the swing direction, you look at all the numbers there basically, you look at the low point distance has gone 7 inches ahead of the golf ball, so I'm definitely going to be hitting down onto the golf ball. My swing direction and the club path have gone majorly out to in, so I'm not going to hit some hooks from there, and the face stays a little bit more open. So it completely changed the golf swing just via that one little drill. So what you can start to do is then build the tempo, the speed up on that. So as you start to work the club away, about halfway back, you can then take a hold on the club and then fire down. So you're going to slowly work back with that club, lead hand only, and as you start working back, then the hand goes on, then you can fire down. So here, hand on, and hit. You can see again, it's an okay strike, it's nothing marvellous, but I've hit the fade, I've hit that slightly fadey shot, so it can take me away from those hooks. And then eventually, as you start to build the repetition up, you can then have both hands on with the same feeling. Now, what does that feel like for you to the top? Now, for me, it feels like when I'm working to the top, I can feel my sort of scapula working a little bit harder than it would have, and that gets me into that set position. So this time I'm going to work to that top position and then fire down. I'm going to take a little pause at the top just so I feel it's right. So as I work to the top, good, I can feel it in the scap, then I'm going to hit down. But I felt that position before I've gone and hit the shot. Again, look, it's not a great strike, but it's certainly getting away from a hook shape or a push or anything like that into a little fade. So again, just progress it further. I'm going to have a little practice swing of what that feels like. Right, that's the feeling I'm looking for. And then I'm going to just put it into one smooth move now. And that was certainly a better strike. And we'll see, I mean, we'll take that flight all day long, maybe a 2-3 yard fade. That's a lot more controllable than hitting these across the line hooks. So we do that one final time at full speed, but you can see the progression through the drill and what you've got to do at the driving range to really get that online to maybe laid off feel in the golf swing to change that ball flight to something more like that. So I'm just gonna get a nice little feel for it again. It's there, and then we're gonna go full speed, same feeling. Not my best strike, but again, I've just pulled it and it's 4 yards offline, 12 foot offline. That's absolutely fine. It's not hooked, it's not pushed, it's not shanked, it's not been a total misstrike. It's slightly thin, if anything, and you can deal with those on the golf course. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like it, comment if there's anything you'd like to see next, and please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon.